welcome back from break and from your breakout rooms. So, in your breakout rooms, what you were tasked to do is do exactly what Wagner did when he first was coming up with his theory of continental drift. So again, his theory of continental drift was that at one time the continents were all together in a supercontinent that we call Pangaea, and that over time they have drifted apart from each other. So continental drift is the idea that the continents drift. And when he first was coming up with this theory, he did exactly what you guys just did in your breakout room. He took a map, he cut it apart, and he tried to put together the continents like puzzle pieces. And this is what he came up with. Maybe you guys were able to make this. Maybe not. It's pretty complicated. My guess is that you were able to put South America and Africa together, and maybe you got Asia up here. I'm not too sure. But this is what Pangaea looked like. Pangaea was a supercontinent that the theory of continental drift tells us existed about 225 million years ago. So all the continents were together in a supercontinent, and that over the past 225 million years, they've drifted apart to where they are today. And the cool thing about continental drift is they're still drifting apart. And in about 225 million years, they'll all meet up again on the other side of the globe. So I wonder if any of you were able to pick up on some other evidence that Wagner had. It's shown on this puzzle, but it might be a little complicated. So we'll come back to this after you do your independent work. We'll come back to this on Thursday, and we'll talk about what were the 4 pieces of evidence that Wagner had. One of those pieces of evidence is called the apparent fit of the continents, and it basically means the continents seem to go together like a puzzle. Okay, so how have those continents moved over time? Well, about 225 million years ago, there was a supercontinent called Pangaea, and the continents were drifting apart. About 100 million years later, we get 2 different continents that exist. Laurasia, this is North America and Asia, and Gondwanaland. This is South America, Africa, Antarctica, India, and Australia. And then about 65 million years ago, you see the continents are starting to look more like what we know today. South America, North America, Eurasia, Antarctica, Australia, and India. And then the present day formation of those continents. So the continents are still moving over time. They're still moving. All right, so we're going to watch this video. And this video is going to take us from present day back in time about 240 million years ago. And then it will go back into the future to see how we think the continents will be about 250 million years ago in the future. So here we are about 60 million years ago. We can see that Africa and South America are coming together. There used to be a shallow sea all across North America. We're 110 million years ago. And we're almost to Pangaea. So this right here is Pangaea. This is when all the continents were together on one side of the earth. So now what's going to happen is now this video is going to take us into the future and show how those continents moved and where they will be in the future. So we're going into the future, or we're moving towards the present now. This is the period of the dinosaurs. We're getting to modern day here. Okay, here's present day. Now let's watch these continents into the future. And here we are 250 million years in the future. Even though it didn't show us, we're on the other side of the globe. So Pangaea at one point existed on one part of the globe. Those continents started to drift apart. And in about 250 million years, the continents will meet up again and become a supercontinent on the other side of the Earth, which is pretty cool if you ask me.